Is it a plane?
In other news, there have been reports of large flocks of birds flying all over the city.
That's what I keep trying to tell everyone. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's
hats and chats. It just has to be.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Hats and Chats.
If that's the case, welcome to Hats and Chats, ladies and gents.
Yeah! Welcome! I feel like every week I want to be more and more excited.
Yeah.
Every single time we start, I don't know. I want people to love me.
But we do. Everyone loves you.
Okay, good. I feel better now, Chris. Thanks, buddy. I was spiraling. It's okay. I'm good now. You're like, I don't know how to respond.
I mean, it was like, I was trying to make an analogy with that spiral. I'm like, are we talking like little whirlpool spiral? Or are we talking Uzumaki level spiral?
Oh yeah, Uzumaki level of spiral, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Alright, so this week's comics is going to be an interesting spiral in its own way.
Okay.
Which is the first one I'm going to mention. We got one from Boom Studios that I'm like, why?
Why?
Because we've been getting so many crossovers from DC.
Right.
Because last year we had Batman Ninja Turtles, which makes sense. I mean, you got Batman and Ninja Turtles, ninjas and all that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And year before, and this year we had Green Lantern and Star Trek. And that was like weird at first, but then again, spacey, pulpy stuff.
No. I could see it.
This involves Green Lantern, and this is just like, but why?
What is it?
Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes. The original Planet of the Apes. The old 60s films. I don't know!
But why?
Yeah, like, okay. The only thing that's similar, it's science fiction. That's all I can compare. And
right.
There's different races, but Planet of the Apes is such a different... I don't even, like if I had an idea for if DC had anything, this is an obscure character, but this is any character I could see them cross over with Planet of the Apes is Kamandi, because he was a Jack Kirby character and he was in a dystopic future with mutant animal people and he was the last human.
Okay, yeah, no, that would totally work, but
yeah, Planet of the Apes is supposed to be a distant future, so.
But no.
But Green Lantern, especially the fact there's reports that we're going to get a new type of ring in this crossover.
We are?
Yeah, a new type of ring. It's like we already have the current arc with the Phantom ring.
No, this is not the type of story you would want to bring a new ring into.
I mean, crossovers do weird bullshit like this all the time.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably one of those things that's totally going to be ignored, though.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to take it seriously.
So many crossovers bring in new ideas. Some get more praise, like Alien vs. Predator. They have the Predalien.
Right.
And then you have weird stuff, like when Batman and Ninja Turtles crossed over, they have the villains get the mutagen and they became animal people. Like there was a Joker snake.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh no, what did that look like?
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like DC has been doing good crossovers, but this is one I kind of want to read, just like, how could the fuck can you pull this off?
Right? Oh. Okay, anyway.
Alright, so next we're going to Dark Horse Comics, and god damn it, Mike Mignola, we have to talk about you again. He has a new comic, a new miniseries.
Okay.
Baltimore: The Red Kingdom.
Baltimore: The Red Kingdom. Okay.
I would make a Baltimore joke, but I do not know anything about the town.
I don't either.
Like the only thing I know about Baltimore was Sunrise Skater Kids.
Oh yeah, well I mean they're a joke, but they know they're a joke.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you can't make fun of them because they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're great. They're, great, but also terrible. They're awfully amazing.
Yeah, it's a new series where it gets into a fantasy setting about a lord of some sort named Lord Baltimore. And he's missing, and during the time, there's an evil known as the Red King that has been crawling across the world, and Lord Baltimore has to fight him back. And I feel like this sounds like a sequel to something, but then again, I'm totally lost. The only thing, is Mike Mignola.
Yeah. And he said it's a mini-series.
1 of 5.
Okay.
Is this his last thing?
Who knows?
Who knows? I remember what we were talking about. It feels like he wants to retire, but he just can't.
Yeah. I don't know, though. I don't know if that's going to be any good, or...
I mean...
I have no idea.
I love Mike Mignola's work.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite comic book creators.
Okay.
So I might check it out.
Okay.
Next, we're going to DC.
Okay.
Batman number 16 with a new storyline, I Am Bane.
Oh, okay.
Bane's back.
Bane is back.
Well, he was like the central attack. He was like kind of the main villain of a
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Bane is back.
Oh god.
Good one! Ah!
It wasn't as intentional as my lazy dick comment.
Oh my gosh.
Should we explain that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Me, Kayla, and Corey were watching the last 5 episodes of Young Justice.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the last 5 episodes, and it was the moment. Spoiler alert. Sorry, but the show's been out a few years ago, and go on Netflix. Nightwing gives his leadership back to Aqualad.
Yeah.
And he says, like, his reasoning wasn't the lines of, like, it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
And I commented, like, wow, Nightwing, you lazy dick.
That killed me.
Yeah, that
killed me. I wasn't ready. My body wasn't prepared. Okay? God. I love Dick Grayson so much. So
but yeah, this is a continuation of a storyline from the previous Batman storyline called I Am Suicide, where Batman made his own Suicide Squad to invade Santa Prisca, the prison Bane's in charge.
Okay.
And Batman tried to get, I don't name the name of the villain, but he's some villain involves emotional manipulation to save this new superhero named Gotham Girl.
Okay.
Who was suffering from a mental break when her brother died.
Dang it, who is that? You should look that up really quick, because I have no idea. And it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me so hard.
Yeah, it's...
But okay, so...
And Bane, during the fallout of I Am Suicide, Bane, for a while, said no more Venom. But during a fight with Batman and Catwoman, Bane was wounded, and he had no choice but to put in Venom.
Okay.
And he's, like, so pissed off that Batman forced him to take the Venom again, he wants revenge on Batman once and for all.
Wow, okay. So, yeah.
Bane is probably one of the most underrated Batman villain. Like, he's popular, but I feel like he's popular for some of the wrong reasons. Like, a lot of people think, oh, he's the bruiser, the big, tough, dumb, buff guy.
He's not dumb.
Oh, no.
No, he's incredibly intelligent, so...
yeah. He knows, like, 12 languages, has photographic memory. Learned Batman's secret identity in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he's one of the few people, like... He broke the bat.
He broke the bat.
That's what everybody thinks of. You know, and although that sounds like so brutal and like it makes you think of his strength and stuff like that, but he is so much more.
And one thing I appreciate about DC Rebirth, they toned his design down a lot.
Yeah.
Like he's not this giant hulking abomination with the tubes everywhere and stuff.
Yeah.
He's just a big dude. Like he's basically the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what he should be. He's a big dude, but he's not grotesquely huge. He's not Killer Croc. He's not Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to make him that, I don't know, like, yeah, I know, I definitely agree. I think him just being, like, a big, incredibly strong guy,
yeah.
I think the good thing about that is that then people are like, okay, so what makes this character interesting? And then you have to, like, look a bit deeper and see all the other things about him. Like you said, he knows 12 languages. You know, he found out who Batman was within a year.
He's a martial arts master.
He's a martial arts master. You know, doesn't he do Krav Maga?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, seriously.
And his backstory is interesting. Like, you know, he was born in prison, and yet he became the king of the prisoners just by being the smartest out of all of them, because he read books on his own.
Yeah.
And learned stuff on his own, and he was like, oh my god, like, this guy was basically the Batman. Like, you know how Batman went through so much and trained himself? He's basically the antithesis of Batman.
Right. Yeah.
And that's something people overlooked with Bane, and it's probably why Bane...
And it's honestly because you look at him, and you just see this, you know, mutant of a man.
Yeah.
You know, with all the, like you said, all the tubes, and, you know, he is incredibly jacked, almost to, you know, to a grotesque point. You know? So I feel like a lot of people, when they see his design and look at him like that, they just think... Oh, he's basically Killer Croc, but not a crocodile, you know?
And, this is the route with Dark Knight Rises Bane. I kind of like where it was going, but I just felt like they out of nowhere, they made him a minion. with Talia al Ghul, and that I wasn't a fan of.
No, yeah, I agree.
And the whole there's being a smart villain, then there's just being a James Bond villain. I felt like Bane was a bit of a James Bond villain.
Okay, so explain that a bit more.
There's calculative, and then there's like our heart in the shadows. I'm always in the shadows. It's there's being in the shadows, and then dude, we had one fight with Bane in the entire movie, and I feel like the thing about Nightfall, it wasn't just one fight and done. Batman was fighting for his life against Bane, and then he lost. I wish it was more visceral that way.
Mm.
Imagine a Bane fight with Ben Affleck Batman. The fight with in Batman v Superman with the Lex Luthor's goons in that Arkham style fight. Imagine that style versus Bane.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ben Affleck's Batman is just so much more violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fight would have been oh.
And honestly, that's kind of what's great about it. People complained about the new Batman being literally just flat murdering people.
Yeah.
And what I think, and I don't know for sure because DC has had some issues with their movies, obviously.
Which we'll talk about later.
We'll talk about later for sure. But I think it's going to be a part of Batman's character development in the DC movie universe.
Yeah. It's like a reverse of his character went through in Dark Knight Returns, where it's not like we had the lighter Batman and then reach Dark Knight Returns. We start with Dark Knight Returns and then we get
basically
the lighter Batman.
Yeah. And Ben Affleck's kind of older too, so maybe they are kind of doing that reverse thing. They might even even though it is Bruce, it might even kind of be a Thomas thing that they're going for there.
Maybe a Flashpoint Batman.
Yeah, no, I could totally see it. Yeah.
It's like Frank Miller's Batman, but not the dumbness.
Yeah, not the complete stupidity.
You can
dude.
All-Star Batman was a psychopath. Linkara from Atop the Fourth Wall that refused to call him Batman in that storyline. He calls him Crazy Steve. His headcanon was this was a drunk hobo who won the lottery and spent his money to become his own Batman.
That's awesome.
And his version of Wonder Woman in that story, Linkara called Bonkers Betty.
Oh no!
Yeah, that Wonder Woman was shit your pants levels of what the fuck.
That's great. Oh my god.
All right,
dude, I'm gonna cry. I will cry if Wonder Woman flops, the movie. I think I will just. I won't want to live anymore.
Would you say that's your most anticipated movie this year? Up there?
It's definitely up there. I'm really excited for Star Wars Episode 8.
I mean, that's Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's not coming until December, of course. Yeah. But I'm incredibly excited for that. I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There's a few things that I'm pretty hyped for this year. I feel like there's something else that I'm not thinking of right now.
Homecoming?
I am excited for Homecoming. You know what? Because it's the first freaking Spider-Man movie that looks like a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I loved the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Oh.
Screw you, Internet.
Oh, I'm same here. I'm on the same boat as you are. They may be throwing arrows, but we got our shields.
Yeah, man. I adored those movies. But I think Homecoming is the first one that has this, teeny bopper high school type of vibe, and that's what Spider-Man is all about.
Especially this is this is more akin to early Ultimate Spider-Man.
Right.
The Amazing Spider-Man films tried that, but it was more his college age.
Yeah.
And the Tobey Maguire films were 60s Spider-Man, old. Now that was a bad thing. I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films until 3. Spider-Man 2 is one of my all-time favorite films. But they hold their own. But in this day and age where you kind of have to have shared universes because people love the shared universe.
Yeah. It's
good to have this with Homecoming. And Homecoming is obviously my number one most anticipated film.
I mean, I will say there were scenes from the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies that I, I just adored, especially 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there was some really awesome stuff.
I will say Spider-Man 2 has one of the greatest comic villains of all time, Alfred Molina, Doc Ock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
We still have the top Doc Ock.
So good. And I think one of my favorite scenes, too, is, him with trying to stop the subway.
Oh, yeah.
And, stretching his body. That was intense.
Yeah.
awesome.
Homecoming's my top. Number 2 will be Alien Covenant, and 3 is Kong Skull Island. Justice League is a film I'm anticipating but scared.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared.
Because,
well,
it's...
Jeff Johns says,
he's in charge of everything, but there is one problem. Zack Snyder's still directing.
Okay. Wasn't it really the studio's fault, though, for Batman v Superman?
I wouldn't say the studio's fault, because, they let Zack Snyder have more control over, Batman v Superman. It was Suicide Squad that had the problem, though.
Oh.
Because Suicide Squad was the more butchered film, while Batman v Superman, most of it was Zack Snyder and David Goyer.
Well, and the thing about Batman v Superman was that, a lot of comic book people, more than tolerated it. They enjoyed it just because it had a lot of...
stuff they know.
Yeah. So if you didn't know comics,
you're going to be like, what?
Yeah, 2 things. You were going to hate the movie, first of all, because it didn't explain anything.
It really didn't.
And it was just I knew quite a bit about comics, but even after the movie, was like, what the... what was that?
I knew... I enjoyed Batman v Superman, but I'm not going... I would give it a 7. Mm-hmm. When I first came out, I was willing to give it an 8.5. But now thinking it over, I love it as a comic fan. But what teeters it down is it's hard to work as a film.
Yeah.
It's like a comic brought to life, and that's it's probably the most accurate comic film of all time.
Maybe next to Watchmen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Watchmen was.
Because the film, because Batman v Superman is paced like a comic book.
Right.
But the problem is, what works for one pacing for one medium doesn't work for another.
Right. No. Yeah. And you have that's just common media sense, especially if you direct for a living. That's something that you got to learn is how to take a book or take a comic book or, I don't know, whatever other medium that you want to interpret and to interpret it correctly. It's ridiculous. And I think this is such a stupid thing that made me so upset from the movie. Okay, the scene where Ben Affleck, when all the buildings are falling, at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And he goes to help this little girl, and he says, where's your mom, or where's your parents, or something like that. And she points up at the building that's all, crumbled and stuff. And you know what made me so mad about that?
What?
It makes no sense that she was down there on the street, and whoever she was with was up in the building.
Okay, to be totally honest, I never thought of that till...
It made no sense, honestly. So...
Yeah.
Anyway, it's such a dumb thing to be upset about, but I was so upset.
But, yeah, definitely. Alright, let's move on. This is stuff we can talk about later on.
I just... nobody seemed to be that upset about that scene, but it made me so mad, because I was like, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make... head sense.
I mean,
anyway.
Okay. I mean,
I brought it up to Anthony, and he was like, whatever. I was like, no, not whatever.
All right, next we're going to IDW with a Ghostbusters comic.
Okay,
Their annual for 2017. And
how are they selling right now? Because
they've been doing pretty well.
Okay.
Because the thing about the Ghostbuster comics, it's the original Ghostbusters.
Right.
And,
but I just wasn't sure how, I don't know.
Because ever since,
fans can be petty sometimes.
Well, I think the thing about, my Ghostbusters is a very, very touchy... It's sad that it's a franchise that doesn't, I think Nostalgia Critic said it the best. We made a bigger deal the 2016 film didn't need it to be.
We really did. Because you know what? The movie made me laugh.
I watched it, and I'll be totally honest, the film was okay.
It was okay, but it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Probably total altogether throughout the movie 45 minutes of pure laughter. That was me.
For me, the film for me is just I wasn't bored, but it was just it was one of those films you just get from Redbox and you just put it on. You're like my family rented it. I'm like, sure, whatever, I'll sit down.
I don't know. Okay, well, I will say for me personally, and Sahara's like this too.
Mm-hmm.
Female comedy just kills us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it's just like, I think it's the idea that we like identify, you know, because of the types of jokes that they're making or the way that they're acting. It's like, oh my god, I would do that. You know what I mean? Because we've been doing that a lot lately. We've been watching a lot of stand-up comedians on YouTube, not YouTube, Netflix.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like female stand-up comedy on there, and let me tell you, like we'll put it on and just, even if we're just listening to it in the background, you know, and Sahara and I are just dying because I don't know, it's just like the jokes are just relatable, you know.
Well, for me, some of them were hit and miss with me. I think some of the jokes that were homaging the original films were a bit forced.
They were,
and Bill Murray's role was like, come on now, really?
Actually,
they missed an opportunity. I remember Bill Murray said he'll never come back for a Ghostbusters movie unless his character is killed and comes back as a ghost.
Oh,
they killed
didn't bring him back as a ghost.
That would have been funny.
Oh,
also,
why didn't they do that?
Also, I don't know. Also, my problem with the film, I have two major problems. My genuine problems with the film. The film is some. I do have some behind the scenes gripes, but it's not particularly towards the film itself. The film itself, it just didn't gravitate towards me. It was just
I've heard the director is like awful, right?
He's an asshole.
Asswipe. Yeah.
Like, I remember in an interview, he says men can never be funny. It's all balls. It's all jokes involving balls, boobs, and beer. I'm like,
wow, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Like,
also, I wasn't a fan of the trailer, the first trailer, because it advertised that it was going to be it was like a sequel to Ghostbusters, the original films.
Right, and I know I will say the advertising for that movie, and I didn't even. Okay, I will say, me personally, I didn't see the trailers because most of the time, I don't like watching trailers. Trailers give away crap. I don't,
especially in this day and age.
Yes,
because
action movies make me want to punch somebody. You know, because not the movies themselves, but the trailers. Because, and I realized that I just said, action movies make me want to punch somebody.
It's getting this job done.
Anyway. That's awesome. Anyway, but the trailers, they give away all of the best scenes. Like, and I know it's an action movie and you're trying to portray that it's an action movie, but good lord, find another way to do it.
Show early scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. Just do something else. Like,
I think the best type of another type of film that has horrible use of trailers are comedies. Because one thing that a lot of comedies suck with trailers, sometimes they put the best jokes in.
Right.
And I was like, don't do that. I feel like horror films get trailers right. Because a lot of horror films like to build mystery.
Yes. Honestly, though, I think that's easier.
Yeah.
I do. Because, I mean, you honestly just, like, build the suspense.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that you could do to mess up a horror trailer is to show the monster or the demon or whatever, the ghost.
Unless it's a franchise with a pre-established thing that everyone knows what it is. Like Friday the 13th, you're going to show Jason. Nightmare on Elm Street, you're going to show Freddy.
Maybe, but then you only show, like, little bits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because the horror comes from the unknown.
Like, if you want to show it, like, again, this is an easy topic to say, but watch the first Alien trailer. You will not know what the fuck is going on. All you see is people running.
Well, that's kind of... They did that in Life.
Yeah,
that
Life.
New trailer.
It feels very similar to Alien in a good way, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous it might copy a bit of Alien, but then again...
I feel the same way because, like...
But then again, I want to see it. Yeah. I do want to see it.
Because I have no idea... like
what the fuck is going on?
Exactly. You don't have any clue what's going on. He finds this little thing... And it's like yay big, you know. It's really not like big at all. And then he just puts his hand in, and then he starts squealing, you know. And they don't show what's latched onto his arm, so you don't know if that thing grew.
Did it bit him? Is it going inside him?
Is it going inside of him? You have no idea what happened.
But
that's intense.
One thing I was talking with Cole a few months ago was if we want to make our own all-star female Ghostbusters films. We were trying to get, like, women that we'll think will make it funnier. So we borderline said, let's just take the women from Parks and Rec and make it Ghostbusters.
Oh my gosh.
Amy Poehler,
what is her, something Rashida, Rashid, that's her name.
Yeah, who plays April?
April is, Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza.
And... Donna. Retta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, imagine
Retta.
Parks and Recs with the cast of with Ghostbusters.
Because, I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I will say though, blonde chick, she was from Saturday Night Live, who was in the Ghostbusters movie. What was her name?
I have no idea. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live.
What was her character's name though?
Hoffman.
But I'm not gonna lie. I loved Hoffman so much. She was so ridiculous. And, oh my god, just her attitudes. Like, every face she made, like, she was just great.
I assumed she was going to be this film's equivalent of Egon. You know, I thought she was going to be, the no-nonsense scientist, but
No, she was insane.
Yeah.
And I loved her.
Alright, now we're going to go to Marvel, our last book. We'll talk about this week.
Okay.
With a new Star Wars miniseries.
Okay.
Darth Maul.
Okay.
You're more in depth with Star Wars, and you watched the Star Wars animated series.
Yes,
Clone Wars.
I watched the Clone Wars. I haven't watched Rebels, so I still have that to do. Yeah, because I just want to be like up to date on everything that's canon. Yeah. So now, let's see. Darth Maul was in Clone Wars. Yeah,
for the third season, and he was surprisingly the best thing. Because he had a cool fight, but he was a pretty boring villain in The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
But
because the movie was just...
It was awful. But they really...
they revamped the character for sure, and I'm glad that they did. Although it was kind of dumb with the metal legs thing.
I mean, it makes sense when you got your entire lower half sliced off.
Yes, but it's like, how though? Like, how did you survive long enough to get, metal legs attached? You know what I mean?
I know the Force can do a lot, but isn't this stretching the Force's ability?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't... Because, it's all whatever Disney wants to do now.
Yeah.
So it could be that they, just were like, yeah, the Force is so strong in him that he kept himself alive.
I mean, then again, this was when Cartoon Network... the show was around before Disney bought Star Wars.
Yes, that is true.
So they
decided to keep it as canon.
Yeah, because it had them ratings. But this series is
season 3 completed by the time? I don't know.
Yes, it was. The show is done. The show is completed. Disney let Cartoon Network finish the show so they can move on.
Okay.
Because they were nice.
Okay, cool.
But this series, the new Darth Maul series, is a prequel. It was him training under Darth Sidious.
Oh.
And it's written by one of my favorite writers, Cullen Bunn. He's best known for his run on Deadpool, Magneto, Venom. He loves to write villains / anti-heroes.
Okay.
And I feel like Darth Maul is up his alley.
Sweet. Alright, cool. I can dig it.
Is there any Star Wars character you genuinely want to see get their own series in comic form?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, it's hard because they cut out so much of the extended universe.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Yes, if you haven't seen Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker did have an apprentice. That wasn't mentioned in the movies or anything. So she was kind of in between where he was losing his mind, basically. Like, she was his Padawan as he was kind of, just losing himself. And the interesting part is that she is one of the only Jedi who survived Order 66.
Oh, she did survive.
She did survive. It's really cool. She uses white lightsabers, which is sick.
Yeah.
I think she uses 2 as well. I think she is a dual wielder. So yeah, Star Wars: The Clone Wars covered a lot of her, being his apprentice and stuff like that, and even a little bit after Order 66 and stuff like that. So I think it would just be interesting, to cover more of her journey and, how she was affected by Anakin becoming Darth Vader.
It would be a really sad moment between, imagine they confront again.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. I think the only like hard part of that would be that either something would have to happen where the battle would get broken up and stuff like that, or she would have to die.
Yeah.
You know, because he lived obviously until, but, and I don't want Ahsoka to die. I love her. So.
Personally, one character I like to see get his own series is Sidious.
Yeah.
How his rise in power, like how he became one of the most evil characters in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's one of those things where they want him to be a symbol of like ultimate evil, like evil without reason. Yeah. You know, because sometimes like you have to have that type of figure. Yeah. That's almost like the devil himself. You know, somebody who can't be reasoned with, somebody who really doesn't have like all that much of a past that gives a reason as to the like why they are the way they are. Yeah. You know.
And you could be right with that. Like, I mean, that's what ruined Darth Vader for a little bit with those prequel films.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, everybody thought that until, and then those prequel films came out later and, you know, people were like, oh, okay, so he's a whiny brat. Yeah, he's a whiny brat. He's, and you really saw, oh my god, I still can't get over the line that he had in Rogue One. I'm not even going to spoil it because I feel like quite a few people haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So, just know, though, if you are going to see Rogue One, Darth Vader has one of the worst lines ever. But it's also, like, it's so bad that it's like, oh, Anakin's still in there. Like, that's really, like, what I thought when I heard
you don't think of seeing, like, oh, hey, that's James Earl Jones. Like, oh, hey, that's Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, well, it's really just the character overall. Like, Anakin Skywalker. Because in Star Wars The Clone Wars, you know, he's kind of silly at times, you know.
He's a wisecracker.
He is a wisecracker. He's always been like
I always liked that Anakin. Like, it makes the descent even sadder. Whereas in the prequel films, he was just this blank of wood pretending to be a human being.
Yeah.
It's more sadder to seeing someone with so full of life just fall into become a mindless machine.
Yeah. I mean, to fall so far from grace to, you know, hurt the person that you love the most. You know,
hurt your best friend.
Yeah. And lead her to her own death. Yeah. Even, you know, God, it's just.
I mean, even though it was the Jedi's fault, it's still sad.
It is. It is, honestly, and it. You know, it's weird too because I feel like we still haven't really shown in the movies or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe a bit in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, I would say, but it hasn't really been said, oh, hey, you know, the reason why Anakin got so messed up and so many other Jedi have lost their way and stuff like that is because the Jedi Order is stupid. We still think, I think a lot of people, the majority still think of the Jedi as like the good guys. And it's like
no, they're like, to be honest, Star Wars, describe Star Wars as there's a quote that you can describe the Jedi as like, it's basically, turned out I'm the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what, like, because, you know, the Empire and the First Order are supposed to be like the Nazi fascist, you know, groups. Yeah. And then you have the Sith, who are like religious people who use their own power to rule over people, you know, and that's kind of their thing. Yeah. Then you have the Jedi, who are like zealots that take it so far that they take the humanity out of people,
and they force that mentality into other people.
Yeah, and so it's like, who are the good guys in this world, you know? Yeah. I feel like, and that's what I'm really interested in when it comes to the new movies. Yeah. You know, this next one is called The Last Jedi. Yeah. Been a lot of speculations about what that means and stuff like that.
Maybe it just be the end of the Jedi Order.
Maybe. Like, you know, I think...
Maybe they realize, like, this has to stop. Because in order to have balance, you can't just have one side trying to kill the other.
I think we just need some real, actual good guys who their only purpose is to uphold the peace and to be as close with the Force as possible, but not in the way of like, I'm going to become stronger so I can destroy my enemies. It's, I'm going to become stronger so I can protect the people of this galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, and doing it out of a selfless nature and not out of a selfish nature, you know?
But as well as not like, I'm going to be powerful and ensure people with power stay below me.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, it's just, I don't know what's wrong with this galaxy that's been created, you know? It's like George Lucas couldn't think of anybody who was just all the way good, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a statement in and of itself.
Yeah.
You know?
It could be a deconstruction on the hero's journey. The good guy and the bad guy. Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of, like, religious and political commentary as well. You know? It's like...
it seems like he was onto something, but he just didn't know how to land.
Maybe. Or maybe he was just crazy.
Maybe.
You know? Maybe
right.
it's like trying to read into Alice in Wonderland, you know?
Yeah.
You're not really going to get any truth out of it.
All right. Now we can go to our topics. We're good with our comics?
Yep.
First, we're going to talk about Square Enix. Last Thursday, they have revealed they have a partnership with Marvel, and they're going to make several games. And the first game they're making is simply called the Avengers Project. We don't even have a title for it. We just know they're making an Avengers game. They made a trailer. Didn't show any gameplay. It was very vague. It was this commentary, this disembodied woman's voice saying we need to reassemble, as was seeing the remains of Iron Man's armor, Cap's shield, all Avengers stuff.
Right.
So my thing is, what kind of game we're getting? Because the studio behind it is also the team they have in particular is the team behind the Lara Croft Tomb Raider games, the modern Tomb Raider games.
As well as Final Fantasy.
Square Enix, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, those guys.
So, big titles right there, obviously. Yeah. Final Fantasy 15 was kind of a... it's a big scale. There's a lot of great things in it. The animation is fantastic. The battle mechanics, people either love or they hate. Honestly, I'm a huge fan. I love the game. It was great. There were quite a few people, though, I would say, like, huge video game buffs that were just, like, a lot of them just complaining about the mechanics and stuff like that.
Maybe it's just one of those things where it's such a unique mechanic, it's hard to compare to something. As well as just hardcore fans who prefer just the turn-based mechanic.
That could be. I don't know. Honestly, you know me well enough by now to know that it is so hard for me to, like, complain. I don't hate on things very easily. Like, I'm very easily pleased, I will say. But honestly, it was so enjoyable. I just had a fun time playing the game, and that's it, you know? And also, not to mention that it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous game. Yeah. I would say, if anything, the story was just kind of, okay. You know? I mean,
it's probably not as bad as Final Fantasy 13, because
those
games had a character that was paper mache cut out and pretended to be life.
Yeah. No, it can't get that bad again.
Because at least the characters in Final Fantasy 15...
they're so lovable.
I mean, maybe the main character wasn't as unique as his best friends, but I think that's the point.
Yeah, I mean, Noct was kind of a...
decent good guy.
He was a decent good guy. Yeah. He was just like, I'm a prince, but I get tired when I run too much. And honestly, like, I just loved how he was kind of like all of his friends were so, like, energetic and full of life and stuff like that. And he's just like, oh, okay, like... You know,
maybe it's just to help the relatability with the immersion for who the player to be.
No, I totally think so.
But my thing is just, what kind of game of Marvel Square Enix game would be?
So that's kind of what I'm getting at is like...
Is it going to be a squad-based, like Final Fantasy 13? Like, it's an Avengers game, so maybe you can, like, be an Avenger and have, like, 4 assists? Like, 3 assist characters?
I would be totally down
It kind of sounds like they're trying to remake... If that's the case, it's basically like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but more refined.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you played any of the Ultimate Alliance games.
I don't. No, I have not.
They're Marvel RPGs, but they're more like dungeon crawl games, more like Diablo.
Okay.
in that kind of game.
Okay.
But having Square Enix have the same mechanic but work it for Final Fantasy 15.
Right.
And
I think, honestly, if they leave the story to the Marvel people.
Have, like, someone like Brian Michael Bendis write the story.
Right. And then just have Square Enix, like, come up with the game mechanics and, basically everything else.
I mean, honestly, that's the best way to work with a lot of superhero games. Like, I remember, like, the Batman games. Usually the people who write the Batman games are Batman writers.
Right.
Spider-Man games. Spider-Man Web of Shattered Dimensions was written by Dan Slott, who's been writing Spider-Man for 10 years. And still writing Spider-Man.
Right.
So, like, maybe they'll have some big Marvel writer, like Brian Michael Bendis, Mark Waid, someone, to write the story, and it'll be in good hands.
That's what I'm hoping for. I think, honestly, it's whatever it is. Marvel hasn't failed us in years.
And
so.
I'm also happy to see Marvel making new games, because for a while, Disney was like Umbrella, like, had control over all their IPs for the video games. That's why we had those Disney Infinity games for, like, ever. And Disney just decided to dissolve their game studios because they weren't making money. And basically, like, all right, everyone, just do what you do. And as such, we got so much Marvel games. We're getting the PS4 Spider-Man game this year. We're getting MVC4 this year. We're now going to get Square Enix's new Marvel game. I bet Marvel's like, all right, guys, let's make some video games. DC has been destroying us with the Arkham series.
That's true. Yeah. And Injustice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Injustice was a great game. So, yeah. I love the design, too, for the new Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I was hesitant at first because this is the first time I saw a white logo.
And I love
But it looks very dynamic.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
My God. If I was gonna dress up in it, I think 2 Spider-Man outfits, which one of them is Spider-Man 2099, but Miguel O'Hara's,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Which one? The blue one or white one?
The white one.
The white one, yeah.
So nice. Oh, I love it. Yes. Anyway, okay. Oh, and that's the other thing too, probably. Not only lead the story to Marvel people, but also, of course, character design. Because that could end badly, maybe. I
don't know. Have you? What's funny with Square Enix has been doing stuff with Marvel before in action figure form. They have a series known as Play Arts Kai, where they do this with DC characters as well as other like franchises. They make action figures, and the character, like Spider-Man, for example, they take a member of Square Enix, like the designer of Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts, and they say, like, hey, if you would advance Spider-Man, how would you draw him? And they draw him as this new stylized form.
Oh, okay.
And the only one that looked a bit bad were they had the artist behind Final Fantasy VII draw Batman, and it was over-designed. It was like this weird Batman Beyond mech suit that had giant wings, armor, had this visor helmet. It was a little busy, but the Marvel stuff has not been bad. The Marvel stuff looks fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Batman has a lot of gadgets, but he's also a very practical man.
Yeah.
He's not going to, like, overweigh himself, especially if he knows he's going to be fighting all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just
he's not Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, his mobility doesn't come from the mechanics, it comes from his own body.
Yeah.
So, like, whereas Iron Man can just, like, fire off a jet thruster if he needs to move around.
Yeah.
But, like, Batman doesn't do that. That's not how he works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, okay, let's think about the character a bit before we...
Alright. Speaking of DC and video games, the big reveal of Injustice.
Yes.
They revealed new screenshots as characters for the new game. Last week, they already revealed that Damian Wayne Robin is going to be in the game.
Ew.
I know.
Why?
Because, here's the thing. It fits with the story, because in the last Injustice game, you know how there was the regular DC universe and the evil one where...
Yes.
Damian was Nightwing in the evil universe.
Oh.
So I guess he goes back to being Robin. I know. But
I don't like Damian.
He has a big fan base, but I'm like...
But why? He's such a little prick.
Because, here's the thing. I delve in Tumblr a lot. But a lot of them like, but he's so cute. He's misunderstood. I'm like, he's a jackass.
No.
I don't care he's a 12-year-old kid. The kid's an asshole.
He is. My gosh. I don't like him at all.
But they revealed screenshots. I'll show them to you. Just swipe. They revealed Poison Ivy's playable.
Ooh. Very nice.
Bane.
Wow, dang. I love that. Oh my god, he's got like a... You know, he reminds me of Mortal Kombat. Who's the green... it's not...
Reptile?
Yes, Reptile.
Makes sense. I mean, MK...
Yeah, he's got a very reptile look to him. Oh my god. Wait, is that...
That's Damien.
Shut up.
Yeah, because he's an adult in the Injustice universe.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that design, but...
Just wish it wasn't Damien. Just another Robin.
Um...
And Brainiac's going to be the main villain.
Oh my god.
They also revealed gameplay
I
of...
love the designs.
Yeah, and they revealed gameplay trailer of Black Canary.
Okay, cool.
So, decent cast we're getting so far. I'm excited for Injustice 2.
Brainiac, yes!
I'm not sure you know, but if you pre-order the game, you get Darkseid as a playable character.
Yeah, Anthony told me that, and he pre-ordered the game, so that's gonna be so fun, dude!
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Oh, so excited.
What character do you really want in the game? Because they already announced Supergirl, Flash, Wonder Woman, Blue Beetle, Atrocitus.
Beetle.
Yeah, I'm excited for Blue Beetle.
Oh,
Atrocitus,
hey.
Gorilla Grodd, Aquaman. Who else? Obviously Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
There's one. Oh, and Harley and Deadshot.
Okay. I do love me some Aquaman. He is my dude.
Nightwing.
Of course, Nightwing. Yeah. Wonder Woman?
Already announced.
Okay, good. I was gonna say.
Already said Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. I think I just didn't hear you say it. I was like, but.
Don't worry, Wonder Woman's gonna be game.
I was gonna stop breathing, Chris.
There's characters who are obviously gonna be game, like Green Lantern.
Right. And that's why I was like, wait, I don't think I heard him say that.
There's characters who are obviously gonna be game, like Wonder Woman, like characters announcing it, but I'm guessing.
So how do they differentiate like Supergirl and Superman?
Supergirl's gonna be a lot more faster.
Oh, okay. And then he's like stronger?
It's more brawler-based combat.
Okay. No, I dig that. That's cool.
Characters that I want in the game, there's two characters who were DLC in the last game. I want them to be main characters. I want to see Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
And I want Lobo.
Lobo. Okay. Yeah, cool. No, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
Dr. Fate would be pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that so much. You don't understand. Yes. Like, I knew about his character before Young Justice, but after watching Young Justice, I was like, I am in love.
I want Dr. Fate. I want, I know they teased them in a poll, but I feel like the poll is just a tease of characters who are in consideration. Swamp Thing.
Oh, That would be different.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I can see Swamp Thing.
Like, I would like it, and I think it would be cool. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
The designs for all the characters are like very like futuristic, techy.
Yeah.
He would not fit in that at all. So there's that.
I mean, there's Gorilla Grodd.
Like, that's true. Sort of. But don't they make him like, because he's got
he's got a little bit of plate armor, but not like he's in like super high tech.
But still, it's still like a part of the aesthetic. So I don't know. Like,
unless they make him like they make him a super detailed Swamp Thing.
Yeah, maybe. So that's my first thing, and the other thing is just in like a superhero fighting game.
I mean, Swamp Thing is he can control planets, he's stretchy powers.
I'm not doubting like his power. I think I don't know.
I can see him. One character I can compare him to. He can play pretty similar to in MVC, for example, Nemesis.
Okay.
Because Nemesis has a lot of brute strength, has tendril abilities.
I just don't know. I don't know like how. I would really like to get feedback from other people
Yeah.
about that, honestly. Like, hear what other people think about it, because I don't know.
I know Anthony Sahara want Animal Man.
Well, yes. They're gigantic Animal Man fans.
I want to see more Lantern characters as well. Like, I like to see Black Hand as a playable character.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Glad to see Atrocitus, and he has Dexstar as his assist.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
But yeah.
Cool, man.
Next bit of we got some bad news.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Ben Affleck's not going to direct the solo Batman movie.
Yeah. Okay. So
he's not leaving the role. He's leaving
Right.
the job of directing.
Right. So does this have anything to do with Live by Night? And
There's been speculation that Ben Affleck has been hesitant because he's been getting a bit of failures, like films that are critically failing a bit.
Yeah.
And
Live by Night is a perfect example. And Anthony and I were reading the reviews, and we were just like, what is wrong with people? Because we didn't think that movie was bad in any regard. None. Like, we loved it.
And especially Anthony, because Anthony is really critical of film.
Yeah. Anthony's that's honestly something that Anthony and I argue about pretty often, because, he'll just, crap all over a movie, and I'm just like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, I enjoyed that, But, yeah, this was one of the, I would say, few movies that afterwards, I don't think he had any complaints. None. And we were just sitting there just like, that was a good movie. And then reading the reviews, and it had 20-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, I believe.
Yeah. That's low.
And that's so low. It's so stupid.
But there's speculation why he's doing. Others saying maybe the studio wants to find someone who can make the film faster. Because Ben Affleck has a habit when he directs a film, he takes his time.
Okay.
But the thing about Warner Bros. They have a schedule with it, and they don't want to delay the film. So they want to have a director who can make the film a lot more faster and stuff like that.
Okay.
Ben Affleck, and they're just going to have Ben Affleck write and star.
Okay. I mean, then he still has a huge hand in everything.
Yeah, it's just directing is such a big responsibility.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I feel like that's we were talking about DC. I think the problem with DC is the the films Suicide Squad and Batman Superman did not fail financially.
Yeah,
they failed critically, and DC is pissed scared. Because they're it's like a chicken who got the head cut off. It's running around. And it's like, what the fuck do we what do we do?
What do we do? Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Marvel.
I mean, I think that's what Jeff Johns taking over and stuff like that, and really, really, really putting his hand into what's going on with the movies and stuff like that.
It's and especially the fact that how Marvel people are saying superhero films are dying. I'm like, well, Marvel's still kicking ass.
Yes. Okay, so as somebody who works at a movie theater, though, I can definitely say that the hype has started to die. Even for Marvel movies. Yes, they're still making pretty good money.
Civil War was the highest.
You don't have people storming the place anymore, and and it's really because, and I've heard quite a few customers say this, as they come in, they're like, man, I'm just I'm tired of the superhero movies. And I know we're not, because we love comic books, we love superheroes, we can't get enough. But
I like to see this come across for different theaters, different opinions, because you work at a Regal theater. Right. I would see opinion on an AMC theater as well.
Well, I've just heard this from friends too. People just saying that it was great when it was starting up and we were getting all these superhero movies and we were finally getting the effects that we have never been able to have until this generation. And so, it was all great when it was starting out, but now everybody's like, oh my gosh, another superhero movie, So I think honestly, with Marvel, they've gotten so formulaic,
I wouldn't say they're totally formulaic, because every film doesn't. Okay, I feel like films that are the beginnings of origin films, they have a formula, but I would say Guardians of the Galaxy does not feel like the
Guardians
Avengers.
is one of the few that I would say was. Guardians was a totally different thing.
And even some of the other Marvel films, like, I would say Captain America Civil War does not feel like Iron Man 3.
Well, no, it doesn't feel like Iron Man 3, but it is formulaic, if that makes any sense. Well, because, first of all, it's a movie about, like, you have more of a team type of thing going on in Civil War, right? And then in Iron Man, obviously, it's about one character.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that they're not both formulaic. I think they're just, formulaic in different ways, you know? But you still have, like, people kicking a bunch of butt and making jokes and then having really serious moments, character development, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
There are a lot of films follow patterns, like horror films have a similar pattern. Action films have similar patterns.
Right.
Romance films are very pattern based as well.
So, you know, the movies that stand out then are the ones that kind of do something, even if it's only slightly, but something so different that it's like, oh, okay. And so here's the thing, is that's the one thing that DC has gotten right, but they just can't quite do it
positively.
Yeah, honestly. Because, I mean, Batman v Superman was sort of on track. They just made really stupid storytelling decisions.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of it was awesome, and then they just screwed it all up. You know?
And Civil War was a pretty tightly made film. It's basically Batman v Superman, but was that like every time like Batman v Superman zigs, where Civil War zigs, Batman v Superman zags.
Right.
Because they're basically the same film, but Civil War was more confidently made.
Yeah. No, confident.
And I love...
Well, it was confidently, and it was made to be a movie for people who had no idea what the heck was going on. You know, like, they explained things, and that was what was so bad about Batman v Superman.
And the thing about Civil War as well, it was a film that rewarded people who watch all the movies.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, the scene where Tony and Steve were fighting, there was so much emotion from that.
Yeah. And I loved when they brought Ant-Man in.
Yeah.
It was so random.
I feel like the thing about the MCU that is so strong, because it's almost serialized. It's almost like a continuous story across it, and you're rewarded for every time you keep going.
Right.
While the DCU is still starting, and we don't know where it's going.
No, we don't. Yeah. It makes me so nervous because there's so many movies, like, you know, I love DC characters so much, you know, and it's just, like I said, like Wonder Woman and probably Aquaman, you know, if those two movies flop, I don't even know. I'm just going to lose my mind. Because I want them to be good so bad. Like, I loved Gal Gadot in Batman v Superman.
Best thing.
So I have so much hope for this, and I think Jason Momoa as Aquaman is going to be pretty freaking badass. So
the thing about the DC films, or just superhero films in general, is just I feel like the one thing that could kill it if we get another Batman and Robin.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Because we never, like, you could say, like, oh, Suicide Squad sucked. Oh, Batman v Superman sucked. I always say this. Was it as bad as Batman and Robin?
No.
Exactly.
No.
And I feel like as long as films are okay at worst,
right,
then I feel like the superhero genre, at least let it run its course. At least let Marvel finish.
Oh, no, I don't think they're gonna stop making the movies. You know, I don't.
Because do you think, like,
No.
I know Steven Spielberg said he feels like superhero films are gonna go like the Western.
Well, yeah. No, this
even,
happens all the time. Honestly, like the genre just becomes huge for a while and then it dies.
Even then, like, there's a difference between people think die means go away.
Yeah,
Westerns have not.
They're not gonna go because Westerns haven't gone away. Exactly. Yeah. Like, you know, we had Magnificent Seven this past year.
I still haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either, and I heard it was just okay.
I want to see it just because I'm a fan of the original film as well as Seven Samurai, the film that Magnificent Seven was a remake of.
Yeah. Yep. No, so I don't think the movies are gonna go away or anything like that. And think about it. I mean, superhero movies have been a thing since
ever.
Just about ever, yeah. Just about since, like, you know, movies.
We might just, like, if anything, the worst thing will happen, they'll just slow down.
Yeah, I think that'll be the worst case scenario. But they've already set their calendars for the next couple of years,
These films are going to make money.
Yeah.
They're going to make money.
They're going to make money. There's no doubt about it. And yeah. Don't get worried, kids. Superhero movies aren't going anywhere. But, I think definitely as we're, getting into the next decade or so.
I think the one thing DC should do, and Marvel should as well, please, for the love of God, hold, don't touch that reboot button. See that button? The reboot button? Don't touch it. Don't touch it. That's the one. I think that's the one thing that might kill the genre. It's just constant reboots.
No, yeah. I totally
That's
agree.
why people are kind of like hesitant with Spider-Man now.
Yeah, because they're like, if I see Uncle Ben die one more time, I'm going to punch somebody.
I think that's the thing that we need to stop. I don't think superhero films are the problem. I think reboot. No, that's actually my biggest problem with Hollywood. Reboots.
Yeah.
Stop touching that goddamn fucking button. I'm serious.
I
serious.
totally agree.
Like,
it's like, you gotta, like, are you seriously not original enough, to come up with something different? Can you really not make money?
Like, superhero films, you can't even complain about originality, because that's just going to be a thing forever. But I think the problem is reboots of films already made, like say as you will, the Ghostbusters film, the biggest problem going against no matter what is this film did not need to be made.
Yeah.
You have to admit about that. That film did not need to be made.
No, it didn't. It didn't need to be made.
I remember some people said, like, the worst case scenario, imagine we get a reboot of Back to the Future.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there talks about that?
There was talks, but I feel like some people
were like, no, dog.
That's the problem, like, I think with modern Hollywood, that reboot button.
That's like trying to redo Lord of the Rings. Like, no.
No, the worst case scenario is imagine do a reboot of Harry Potter.
Yeah, right. Oh my god. Because those are two great examples, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So Harry Potter, you had kids who committed to 8 movies.
8 movies.
And they were there
Was
the
it
whole time.
12 years? 10 or 12 years? A decade?
10 or 12 years. Yeah, for them to film all of those movies. So, they had to be there year to year, back to back, still going to school. Mm-hmm. They even did, I find this great, some of those scenes where they're sitting there and doing homework in classrooms and stuff, they're actually doing homework.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great.
So, they got that going on. So these kids, like, the commitment that they had to make on top of, I say kids, they're older. A couple of the actors are older than me. But, yeah, so you got that going on. And then also all of the adult characters, too, The only character that wasn't consistent was Dumbledore because
the original actor
passed away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And honestly, though, the second actor for Dumbledore was so much, bless his heart, I don't even know his name, which is sad.
The thing with the original actor, I can commit, the problem was, it sounded like he was a little too tired to be there,
Yeah, he didn't have the presence of Dumbledore.
Yeah, he sounded a bit whispery, and it's sadder to think the reason why he passed away because due to cancer.
Right.
So that could be sad thing. It could be just sound like an early sign of it because he sounded so frail.
Yeah.
Well, the new Dumbledore was super intimidating.
Yeah, he had the presence because I've talked about this before. Dumbledore was a very very Machiavellian type of character.
Yeah.
And so the type of attitudes that come with a person who has beliefs like that is very much like the portrayal that the second actor gave, which was this old man who didn't seem old because of how he just carried himself, how he spoke, like he was all completely there. He was, still wisecracking, incredibly intelligent, and also wasn't afraid to kick somebody's butt, so yeah.
But the thing with that's the superhero with DC. I think the problem is that they need to don't be scared of Marvel.
Yeah.
Ignore. It's you don't need to beat them. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
Don't ignore the money.
This is one of those things where time is going to tell too.
Yeah.
see how the Wonder Woman movie goes.
And hopefully this
Justice League
and the solo Batman movie.
and the solo yeah. I don't know. Again, okay, I will say for Batman, I'm a little scared. Because yeah. I don't know where they're going with this more violent Batman.
I mean, they already revealed who the villain's going to be.
Who was it again? I'm sorry.
Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, Deathstroke.
I didn't even know that.
That's been announced since, November.
Oh, nobody told me, and I don't get on the internet often.
Yeah, Deathstroke's going to be the villain.
Oh, ooh. Oh, no, there's so many anomalies now. I don't know what's going to happen.
And we heard there's rumors that the film was going to be taking place in Arkham Asylum.
I'm so nervous. God, I want it to be good, but I'm just, I'm so nervous.
And, okay, here's the thing, though. The biggest...
When is it coming out?
2018, 2019?
Okay. I have some time then.
No, speaking of DC, about the new Batman film, here's my opinion. With Suicide Squad, should they recast Joker? Should they recast Jared Leto?
Ooh. According to popular opinion, yes. It's new. And I don't know. That's either you either love the original character. Okay. There's several things I'm thinking right now. Heath Ledger. You can't repeat that.
It's lightning in the bottle.
You just can't repeat it. And honestly, that was, for most people, that was the pinnacle of the Joker that we know.
Jack Nicholson in the original Batman movie. That was another Joker that was hard to top.
And that was another pinnacle of a type of Joker that we all knew. So it's okay, what do we do? How do we make a new Joker that's iconic, and still has the quirks that go along with the character of Joker?
I think the problem was they were trying to appeal to a younger demographic.
Could have been.
I don't want to blame the Hot Topic crowd, but that Joker merch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you got a point there. But I don't know. I think they were just Joker's involved with gangs a lot.
Make him a modern gangster.
Yeah, make him a modern gangster. But still have that completely wacko side of him.
I think they should just remove the tattoos.
They're probably... I mean, if they're gonna bring the character back, they're not gonna do that.
Unless they, it turns out Joker had fake tattoos the whole time.
Nah, that'd be stupid.
It's the Joker.
That's stupid, though. Then he'd be, reapplying fake tattoos all the time. That's dumb. Nah, I'd be mad, honestly. I would. I'd be that's so stupid.
Because, at the very least, remove the stupid face tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the damage thing on his forehead was just super distracting. And also, that Joker needs to put on a shirt more often.
I don't know. Because it's difficult. I understand why they were trying to do something so different.
Maybe,
at the same time, I don't know if people really wanted it.
Maybe one thing they should just help is give the Joker more screen time. That was one of the biggest complaints.
I think that would definitely help. Yes. No, I completely agree. Because what, scenes we got from him, I was okay, I can kind of see where they're going. But they didn't give me enough.
Yeah.
And I feel most people really felt that. So, yeah, maybe if we just get some more screen time, people won't be so...
uppity.
Put off, by the character. So, anyway, that's all we have time for today. We actually talked quite a bit longer than I don't know. We had a lot to say. I guess,
we
what we were talking about.
Yeah, we had to get some stuff off our chests.
Yeah, we just had to rant a little. That's all we That's the only reason why we do this podcast. We just want to rant about stuff.
Stuff in the nerd community.
Anyway, we love you guys. Hope you're having good weeks, good times, work, school, whatever it is you do. Kiss your children. Love your wives and husbands. And, Don't be dumb.
What she said.